Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Nze, a regular on Open Conversation, a political analyst, and he also prides himself as advocate of the masses. Nze, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Laurentia.
Advocate of the masses.
Thank you very much.
Spokespeople of the masses.
Yeah, we do our biddings.
You're welcome. See, I'm hyping you this morning. Also joining me on Open Conversation is a regular on Open Conversation. He is a political analyst. He is also a member of the State Executive Council of APC, and he's the leader of ICU Group. He is Chizi Nyomasla. And interestingly, it's very important that Chizi here, we wish him a very happy birthday. Yesterday was his birthday, but he was slotted to be on the program today. Chizi, happy 1 year plus 1 day. Happy birthday.
I don't do 1 year plus.
Happy extra 1 year and extra 1 day.
I just don't want to say my age, so you'll be intimidated. But thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right.
I'm an old man.
We know your gray hair is testament to that. So moving forward, Rivers State chapter of Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide has cautioned against the exclusion of Igbo people from the state's political and economic space, stressing that such a move would be counterproductive. The group state's president, Livingstone Weche, said the Igbos constitute the largest voting bloc and play a major role in the state's economy. Speaking to mark the World Igbo Adoration and Thanksgiving Day, Weche urged Ndigbo to leverage their population and strength and entrepreneurial capacity to positively influence Rivers politics. He said the ethnic group has the potential to attain significant political relevance if it adopts a more strategic approach to engagement. Weche also called for peace and deeper participation, describing Rivers State as a safe haven for Igbo investment. He encouraged Igbos at home and in diaspora to invest in the state, while assuring the Rivers State government of the community's support for development initiatives. I'll start with you on this one, Nze. And interestingly, it appears that Ohaneze Ndigbo has faction, because apparently this is the Weche faction speaking, yes? But before I get to Chizi, I'm interested to know your take on this matter.
I have no business with whichever faction is speaking. When we hear Ohaneze Ndigbo, we know that Ohaneze Ndigbo has always been one.
All right.
And there is no need factionalizing it. Okay. People should learn to respect institutions. Ohaneze Ndigbo is a hallowed institution that should be respected anytime, any day. And if Livingstone Weche is speaking now as perhaps either a factional president of Ohaneze Ndigbo in Rivers State or the authentic president, in fact, I don't want to speak in that angle. Yes. But I want to look at the statements he made. The Igbos in Rivers State really accepted themselves to be Igbos. That's number one. Then we also have Igbos who are in Rivers State doing their legitimate business. Some Igbos were born in this land, grew in this land, owning properties in this land, doing wonderfully well in their entrepreneurial activities. And to a large extent, separate Igbos from Rivers State will become a ghost town. So nobody will want to do that. But that is number one. Those who are doing political selection, I think in 2023, I told them that I have the mind of becoming the first Igbo man that is born outside Rivers State to be in political office in Rivers State. Not by appointment, by election. Okay. Because I have the intention of running for the local government chairmanship of Obiakpo. Yeah. It is possible. If I play my card well, I will win, because I know that the indigenous Obiakpos cannot match the if I may say, the visiting Obiakpos who are of Igbo extraction and other tribes. Yes, in number. That is very obvious. But that's not what we are arguing now. What Livingstone Weche said is correct. Igbos should not be excluded in Rivers politics, because apart from the fact that you try to, indigenize yourself or claim indigenship and things like that, that is very clear. Everybody is an indigenous of a particular place. But when we begin to play politics beyond indigenship, you will see that development will hit the peak.
So you think Igbos have been marginalized
in terms
politically?
I don't want to agree.
In River State, you think there is no inclusivity?
I don't want to agree from. I don't want to speak from his angle. The reason is because those you are calling Igbos in River State, who I cannot in any way say that they have been marginalized, have not accepted to be Igbo. If Ikwere man tells you that he's not Igbo, even though Livingstone Weche that is talking is a bona fide Ikwere man, and he's the president of Ahonaz Ndigbo, we have Senator Azutambata, John Azutambata, who the father, in fact, it was the father I knew when I was younger, and I believed him to be Igbo man. He had also played a very significant role in affairs that has to do with the Igbos. John Azutambata today is Senator John Azutambata is the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, and that office is highly respected within the Igbo extraction. In fact, that office shouldn't have been played with, and I believe that they are not playing with it, if not for the fact that the history had been distorted along the line, and the young ones are relying on the statement of those they believe carried the rightful information, whereas that may or may not be the reality. I am not Ikwere man, and I cannot force Ikwere man to be Igbo or ask them that they are not Igbo. But when you look at people like from Omuma, the Eche extraction, they say they are not Igbo. And everything about them, both their culture, their language and all that, you'll go to some areas in Obibo local government. They say it's not Obibo, there is Oyibo and things like that. What's the reason? If you change the name Obibo to Oyibo, I don't know, it's up to you, it's not my village. If you like, call it Osibo, it's no problem. But when you go inside, you see a place like Afam Nta, Afam Uku. You see a place like Anyama, you see like Kwete, and things like that. Just all those things. They are things we know about the Igbos, but they come around rivers. Some of them say they are not Igbo. When I was an executive member for Ohanaeze Ndigbo, we have some people from Obibo Axis, the Ndokis, who were, in fact, the younger brother to Desmond Akao, Ambassador Desmond Akao, Obum, was with us. So, and they claim to be Igbos. So I don't know why others are saying they are not. So, but whether they are or they are not, I know that the Igbos who are not indigenous in River State have been totally marginalized.
All right.
And excluded in politics, except in campaigns and voting. When it is to campaign and vote, they will be carried along. But when it comes to apportioning positions and the elective offices, they will be
so now, if I understand, because you spoke, two ways. One, you talked about the residents, the aborigines, of River State, but who have, who can lay claim to Igbo ancestry. You talked about Obiakpos, the Ikweres, the Eches, and the Yomumas. And then you said when it comes to politics, and if we are talking about the aboriginals, one may question the veracity of the statement of Weche, considering to a large extent that Ikwere has held, the FCT minister is from what local government again?
See, FCT minister is from Obiakpo local government.
Obiakpo, and has
the former transport minister who was a speaker for 8 years, governor for 8 years, minister for 8 years, is from Ikwere local government.
Very well. Now, one would say Ikwere local government, Obiakpo local government have enjoyed top positions.
And today Opobo is holding the position of the governor.
When you look at Opobo and you go down to the history of Opobo, Opobo is linked to Igbos because the original king of Opobo, who helped them win the war and settle, was an Igbo man.
Yeah.
So let's not go there, right? But what I'm looking at is, if we are to go by the aboriginals and merge it with, and do a comparative analysis with what Weche is saying, one may say that Weche is not being...
That's why I said I don't want to go. He's not right. He's not right at all.
But then, when you look at it from... Because you spoke from the angle of the aboriginals and you spoke from the angle of
the residents.
Of residents who are not originally Rivers people. You mean Igbos that that migrated into Rivers State.
Or Igbos doing business in Rivers State.
Just as you are from another state and you're living in Rivers State. So your major concern as well is that these people are being marginalized from politics in Rivers State because they are not from Rivers State.
They are not aborigines of Rivers State.
All right, very well. Chizi, you are from Ikwere local government. I'm glad that you are also a guest today that we are treating this topic. What do you have to say to this?
Yes, you know, this for me is a very sensitive topic. You know, I say so because first I'm an Ikwere man.
Yes.
And I don't want to dive into what is it was going into. And that is whether I'm an Igbo
or not.
You know, I don't want to go into that. I think that should be left for another day. But all I can say here before the national newspaper is that Chizi Omasla is an Ikwere man.
Correct.
I should be left to be an Ikwere man.
Correct.
Now, I have my definition again about who is a Rivers man. It may not be the definition of every other person. Now, for you to begin to think that the fact that you came from somewhere, you use the word migrated. Now, if I use the word migrated, I'm a social scientist. Now, every human being migrated from somewhere. It's just a chase of economic pursuit. If you came here because you wanted to sell spare parts, my dad came here because my dad came here because they wanted to farm. That's the man who is from Calabari came to Calabari land because he's a fisherman. So all of us came because of something.
A reason.
The same way everybody came to the Imo State, Anambra State from somewhere because of economic expansion and pursuit, right? And so, but if you have stayed here for a period of time and you are still saying they have not given you an opportunity, that's assuming now, again, I didn't want to dive into whether Livingstone, which is my friend, is a factional leader of Ohanese. Remember one of those times here, I have said the reason why I don't want to talk about whether somebody from Rivers State should be the president or governor general of Ohanese is that Ohanese, to the extent that I know, is an NGO.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to go into that. And anybody can belong to wherever you want to belong to. When you hear Port Harcourt Club, there are, in fact, the president of Port Harcourt Club, as I talk with you, is from Adamawa State. So it's not about that. Now, if you want to say that, each time people look at sentiment to say we are not given an opportunity to participate in politics, I fault it. I think that argument is very weak as a person. Why is it very weak? Is it that you contested an election and you are disqualified, you bought the form and you are disqualified because you are not an aborigine? If that happened, then I will begin to say, okay, yeah, that is marginalization. You haven't bought form. You haven't tried. Say, trying to even buy form or thinking of buying form to run for Obiabo has already started shooting itself at the foot by saying a word that is not political. Maybe because it has not gone into the politics. That word that is not political is beginning to say that those visiting, first he has said they are visiting, so he said they are not indigenous. And then that those who are aborigines are in the minority. It's very offensive to the man you want to contest election, you want to lead in his land. Extremely very offensive. You're already beginning to defy. Tell me about your policy. I can tell you that even if you go today and contest and become the local government chairman of Obiabo, you will not be the first local government chairman from the Igbo extraction. I can tell you somebody from Anambra was the chairman of Port Harcourt. This Port Harcourt we're talking about here. So you wouldn't be the first. It's just that we on ourselves, we have recognized it in ourselves. Like I said, I define Rivers person. My definition of Rivers State person is the man who stays here, pays tax here, does everything here. That's my definition of Rivers State person. I don't have any other definition. Either you are registered, you have your voter's registration card here, you can vote here, you can do it. If you can vote, you can also be voted for. If you can vote, the law allows you to be voted for. If you contest and lose, that means that Chizi Omasla also could have contested and lose, even if I'm from here. There are people who have lost election here. Now, if you also argue, the man who is saying that the Igbos of the Rivers State has been marginalized is from Ikwere. And I know that John Asuta Mbata, who is the President General of Ohanese Ndibo, was a senator here for 8 years. If he called himself, because Asuta called himself an Igbo man, isn't it? So, and so he's a senator. The man called Livingston, of course, you know, he's been an activist from here to here. He's a friend, and he knows that it's my friend. Maybe I will ask him to come, and maybe two of us will talk about it here one-on-one. And so he knows. I also know that His Excellency, so is the one wiki, that appointed an Igbo man who is not from here, by that their definition, for 8 years as Commissioner for Specialties. So it's not about people marginalizing you. It's not about people not accepting you. It's about the fact that you have not dared or you have not used your plus factor. You know what they call plus factor? You know that you are higher in this place, that your number, I'm assuming that you are number. That's why in Lagos, you have the Igbo extraction. And if you look at it, the Igbos does not claim. That is originally where they don't even claim that they have brothers there. That's in Lagos. If you talk about Yoruba land, you know what I mean by that. The Igbos have never said that the Yoruba man is an Igbo man. They went there to do their business, but they saw that in Igbo people in that they contest election as a assembly and go to assembly. You know what? They have taken advantage of their number. And politics, democracy is a system of numbers. If you know you can articulate your number and win an election, the same way I can and win an election. But if you, as a person, have been defeated internally to say that you are waiting for one day where they will say, Ohafia, bring somebody for assembly. This person, nobody will do that. Nobody will even tell me to bring somebody for assembly. I will want to contest for an assembly and win an election, right? Or I will push it to myself and say, I am running for an election. Now, if you contest and then the people that you believe that are members of your association are in the party with you, now we're having party registration. All the political parties are doing their fresh registration, assuming that you're the member of the party. So if you settle yourself, organize yourself, say, okay, we are going, especially in the metropolitan town, like the OBA walls, like the Fagas, like if it can even infiltrate into Eleme, right? Then in Ikwere it's maybe Obiakwa and Alo. If you feel you can contest an election, buy form, win your election, do your strategy, and then said it was rigged or it was not rigged, or that upon buying that form, they came and said, no, stop this buying of form. That's when you will say you're marginalized. But until that, it is you who has marginalized yourself. If you have stayed in a place for 20 years, the Constitution allows you after 10 years to be an indigene of that place. And you are still calling yourself non-indigene.
A visitor.
A visitor. You call yourself. In ICU that I lead, we don't have non-indigene. There are two words we don't use. We don't use non-indigene. We even give them the 24th local government, that's what we call it, of River State. In ICU, what people call the disabled people, we don't call them, we call them special able people. Because we don't do that. You can't look at people and say they are non-indigene. Non-indigene, I can tell you that I graduated from University of Port Harcourt, let me know when you were not born, and then I came out and then went to Abuja and spent 18 years in Abuja.
I wasn't born then too.
No, by 18 years you should have been born.
I wasn't born
But I spent 18 years in Abuja. I told you that I was the person who made a Cross River lady win an election in Abuja. Because I told her you can contest. And you know what she told me? Where she wasn't in Amak. She was in Buhari.
Buhari.
You know what that means? Buhari is largely populated by the Buharis. And everybody who wanted to contest for councillorship met her. Anybody who wanted to contest met her. So she is like this mobilizer for everybody. And I said, why don't you contest? She said, in another person's land, I said, contest. When she contested, it was landslide. You know, sometimes you think, I'm praying that they shouldn't contest. People like this and all of people shouldn't contest. So they'll come and support me. But you have told yourself that you are non-indigene. You have called yourself that kind of thing. Let me say it on national television. That in this country, I may not say Africa, in this country, there is one ethnic nationality that is more indigenous wherever they are than any other ethnic nationality. That's the Igbos. Only Igbos would you see that build house in Lagos. They will build houses in Kano. They will build factories in any other place. They will be, but why they are still building it is still the Igbos that cause themselves in the same place, non-indigene. I tell you something. And so it looks like there is this thing about the Igbos. There is informal education that has happened in Igbo, which I believe that in educational curriculum that the country should bring that into be. That is, serving their masters from 7 years, serving for 7 years. Apprenticeship. That apprenticeship, it's education. And that apprenticeship that has happened, it has, like I tell you, I'm not insulting you, but I can tell you that there is a cycle, that there's a way you grow up, that mentality will begin to get into you. If you take a house help, for instance, this man has been very, very good, and then finally a house help becomes a multi-billionaire. The day you come and eat with your house help, as a multi-billionaire, he or she wouldn't know when she will stand up to clean the desk. That kind of thing. So I think that what the Igbo man would have said, oh, I came to this place, maybe one malam in Kano helped me to get one job. So he has become like a servant to that malam, and so always calls himself a non-indigene, and they will want the malam to not tell him who to go for that kind of thing. The Igbos has numbers everywhere. They're the ones who have invested in Igbos. I agree with him. He said if Igbo goes out of Obiabo today, or River State today, supposing they even take their houses and go, the beauty of River State will fall. That's the same way the beauty of every other town in Nigeria will go. Look at the Hausa man, for instance. The Hausa man, I can tell you that 90% of the Hausa men who has made more money than the Igbos in River State have not built the kind of factories and houses that Igbos have built in River State. Quote me. But they have made more money in River State. They've made more money from River State, not even in River State. Now the difference is that these people came to sell their goods, do other things. These people came to take from the resources that we have, and they don't build there. But the same Igbo man has called himself non-indigent. So what I can tell you is, stop trying to divide yourself. Now it is only the Igbo tribes. I have said this, let me now come to that. It's only the Igbo tribes, or whoever that is called Igbo, or those who speak the language of Igbo, that is sub-zoners, if people that were supposed to be their brothers that has almost similar cultures with them have said we are not you. The Yorubas, if you go to the Kwaras, they still believe they're Yorubas. If you go to the Kogis, there must be something that you are doing. If you begin to remind somebody that I'm forcing you to eat, the person will say no. I'm being frank with you. There must be something you are doing that's making those people say no, we don't want you. You are not. You're not part of us. So you must come back to yourself and begin to speak like brothers and begin to say, I am from here, I want to contest election here. Forget whether you're Igbo or not Igbo. You are living here. I have a very fantastic, I call it fantastic and ugly experience. Her name is Eugenia. Complete the name. I went to the same primary school with that lady. We went to the same university. In my primary school with that lady, she was my sister. Secondary school, sister. We went to university. I got a root shock in my year 3 when we were paying River State bursary. I know, man, when they pay us our own bursary, before 2 days, our hours is gone. So you go back to your sister or your friend to collect some money. Oh, I know they paid you. So I went to this Eugenia. I said, Eugenia, I spoke in my language. Eugenia, give me money now. I said, what you put now? I said, the bursary, did you not collect bursary? She said, no. I said, why didn't you collect? She said, I'm not from here. I have not seen that kind of thing before. I'm from my same village with me. I never knew. I met his mother, I met his father. We were all there together. We grew up together. Only her knew with her parents that she was not from that place. I didn't know. So at that point, I insisted that she must take bursary. And her husband, because she's married to somewhere in the north, she's a big woman, you know her. She's not married to somewhere in the north. She was the first person who made me walk, because now her brother came to Abuja and had to walk. Because we accepted each other. We spoke for each other. So, but you don't come to tell me, you're from here. I'm telling you, allow me come from anywhere. Because I tell people, if you go to Imo State, for instance, you'll be shocked that the Ohaji man is saying he's not an Igbo person. That's Imo State. You'll be shocked. You'll also be shocked that if you go to Anambra, there are some persons who will say these persons are not indigenous. The other ones are this. The Igbo will call the Ebonyi person, they are the Hausa. You see that kind of disparity. Meanwhile, everybody drove from somewhere at a point. It's just that the first to come will not say, this is my own. now you are now non-indigenous. But this person came because of the. So the comments that drove my forefathers to this place is the comments that is driving is today to this place. And so that comments can make him an indigene.
Right.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the conversation is getting more exciting. And to a large extent, I think there is need for us to set a precedence in creating a better narratives that will help the future generation. If need be, let this discussion be saved in the archives of ATN so that from time to time you play it. My friend here, Chizi, had just painted a very clear picture by directing it back to the Igbos. But you know that prior to the Civil War, it was not like that. It was after the Civil War that the enemies of the South began to create a picture. And that picture and the narratives and stories were sold. I had a Ogoni man who was a very good friend of mine, and he told me that what the Igbos did to them prior to the Civil War, that they will not forget it. And I asked him, what was that? He said in those days, Igbos will carry money and come to Ogoni to buy goods. Maybe like this market day, they will come to buy. Now, speaking Igbo language to them, asking them this one how much. If you put high price, they will not buy. And he will tell his brother or sister that that person is putting a higher price. Nobody will buy from you. Until finally he will come and say, are you ready to sell? When you now discover that nobody is patronizing you, you will now be forced to sell at his price. Then he will buy from you. He said because of that, they hated the Igbos. I said, Oga, this thing you just narrated is not enough. But I will tell you the truth, that you didn't hate the Igbos because they were pricing you less. You hated the Igbos because of the story you were given by non-Ogoni and non-Igbos who want to divide you and the Igbo people. Now, that is number one. You said that Igbos will always see themselves as non-indigenous. It is not. It was not like that before. And deep down, the Igbo man, he does not see himself as non-indigenous. It is because of the segregation, if I'll say, sidelining of the Igbos, because virtually a tribe is skeptical about the Igbo man. That is just the nature. And another thing there is that Igbo man, as an Igbo man I am, we were taught not to forget our origin. You discover that no matter how Igbo man does, look at just like last 2 months ago, you discover that you come out in Port Harcourt and drive. Today, I came to studio late because of traffic. But during Christmas, when the people travel that way, you discover that you can drive and close your eyes, so long as the road is straight. In Port Harcourt, what happened? On the day they began to come back, my son that schools in LL was about coming. He couldn't see vehicle because every vehicle that was coming from Imo State were packed full. That he was even saying some people carried foam, some not new foam, old foam, which means which means they don't have foam in their villages, but some of them might be living in flats and duplexes in Port Harcourt. So as they were traveling, they went with their foam. They finished the few days they need to stay there. They are as if people that went on pilgrimage. You see to that. So, and I'm believing that in the near future, because the population of Igbo is escalating, in the near future, returning to Igbo land will be a pilgrimage. Because that thing we were told, I am not telling it to my children today. I have male children, and I've told them, this property, I've not divided my properties, but none of you should depend on my own property. If you like Port Harcourt, develop yourself. I told my children, before your birthday, your 20th birthday gift to me is your account, that it must read 1 million. So I taught my children money language, money education, and I tell them, you can develop here in River State or any part of Nigeria you want. I am not telling them you must go home. In fact, in the village, it's only one building I have. And each time we come home, the building is filled up. I've not built my dream house, which I believe that very soon God will help. I will fix it so that I can retire there. I'm not intending to retire in Port Harcourt. I will go home because I have that orientation, but I'm not giving it to my children. So you see, it is high time, rather, people begin to accept that if you have stayed in a place and have contributed to the development of that place for some time, you should be accepted as a citizen of that place. So if by 2027, 2028 or thereabout, when is it 2027, 2028, that the tenure of the present serving chairman of local government is come, I can still contest. And I'll contest with an open, I think I said it even before he came up, that I promised people in 2023 that I would be the first. I didn't know that someone had maybe election in River State, and I'll win. My reason for winning is because I have a better things to do for the people of Obiabo. Obiabo local government is supposed to be one of the best cities in this country. But unfortunately, you see that they have the resources, they have the money, but you don't see the development because most of the people who are serving as chairmen are leaving more responsibilities to the state government, simply because Faga and Obiabo is surrounded by the is within the seat of power of the state. So whatever development, like just the past administration, they concentrated their development in Obiabo.
All right.
So now, I once accused the local government chairman of not doing anything. And he said he was doing something. I said, okay, you are not doing anything.
So now you plan to contest.
I plan to contest.
But you understand where Cheese is coming from that. In as much as he said that anybody is free to contest because constitutionally, right, when you have been in a state that it's not your state of origin, when you've been in that state for over 10 years, you naturalize in that state. So, and secondly, under the Constitution, you have a right to vote.
And be voted for.
And be voted for. And if under the Constitution, you've stayed up to 10 years and you have added, positively to the growth and development of that state, that, particular community, then you have the right. But now he's saying that the issue here is a mental one.
Yeah.
When probably the people who are not Aboriginals begin to, on their own, see themselves as underqualified.
And non-indigenous.
Yes, as non-indigenous and underqualified. As a result, you disqualify yourself mentally before you. So it's a defeatist approach. That's what Chizzy is saying. And then when we now look at it, why he was saying that, that was very interesting because in Lagos State, we've had governors that are not from Lagos State. Govern Lagos State.
Sure. Yeah.
We've had a lot of local government chairmen that are not from Lagos State, win elections in Lagos State. We've had Igbos also hold high positions and win elective positions in Lagos State. So that has always happened. But then, when we now look at also the government itself has also, worsened Chizzy. Now, looking at your position also, one will also blame the government for the mentality that non-indigenous, in this instance, both Igbos and otherwise have. Now, I will make a reference to the bursary you were talking about. When a student who have lived, who was, let's say, for example, who, whose parents migrated to River State, probably was born in River State or even was not born in River State. But you expect that by the time the person gets to the university, the person should be up to 18 years, right? So the person probably would have lived more than 10 years in River State. This is not just about River State. It's not peculiar to River State. I mean, states across the country.
But why is it that when, as a case study now?
But why is it that when government is paying bursary, they do not open it up for people who have naturalized by the reason of staying over 10 years in the state, right? They now say the people who are Aboriginals are the people who can access this education fund. Okay. I am interested to know that because when the government does that, people immediately have that sense of, I don't belong here. At the end of the day, I'm not part of you.
Okay. Now let me say this. You know, I'm discussing this because they have asked for a permission for this to be documented. Of course, I know whether he did or that or not.
Definitely to be documented.
You know, we're speaking truth to power. Now, there is no government without a people. Government does not exist in
a vacuum.
It is a people, and that same people is the person that came with the defeatist mentality. The government, the governor of a state is not, like I said, leadership is value neutral. It is a person that comes into that leadership that matters. Choose your master having this mentality in government. We know that there is a language the government recognizes, and that language the government recognizes, if you notice, if they are going to, now this is how you know, if they are going to do what they call verification in civil service, for instance, what they first ask is primary school certificate. Now, if a child had gone to a primary school in that place, especially those of them that are born like Z's children, right now, if a child, that my sister I told you about, had gone to that primary school, and the parent has not given that child that mentality that you are not from here, even the people around does not know. Like I said, I didn't know. I grew up with her, so I could have gone to collect local government identification later with her automatically. But in growing up, she already knew that she was not from there. Certain things I asked for, she wasn't asking. Get it? I want to turn it in two ways. Now, if that kind of person grows from that kind of mentality and now becomes governor or assembly member, he's also working with that mentality. So, but what is it that the Constitution has provided? That means that the Constitution has said if you have stayed 10 years and above, you are an indigene of that place. Automatically. The same what happens outside the country is that if you stay 10 years, you can ask for green, isn't it? So, but the person will need to go and ask and question the authority for not giving them identification letter. Because the boss, don't forget, in my time, I'm not now, because they are no longer paying boss now in university. University is gone. So, in my time, it was even a military administrator that is not from River State. So, if you say it's non-indigene paying indigenous. Now it's no longer about even the indigenous, right? So if anybody had made that argument, the non-indigene, quote unquote, as a military administrator, we know that yes, he stayed for this number of years. He has a point. That's not an indigene saying that now. It's a non-indigene. But the person in herself, I have somebody, even though in their own case, it's not like they are from the other states. They are from River State, but they are from Emoha, right? They are from Emoha, Rumuji. But they stayed in our house. They lived in our house. Just yesterday, he said my dad, shared his portion of land to his, my father had to cut an age and give them land, for them to do something. And so he was like, no, that daddy didn't give him. See, he's not my father's child. He's not from that place. He said my daddy didn't give him. Without telling him that you are among the first 4 boys. He said yes. I said, Daddy said he's not going to give to the first 4 boys. Me, my lawyer brother, the local government chairman, and him. Say no, that he should have cut it from us, not him. He is not arguing that he's not his son. He's saying
he's saying he's my father.
He's my father.
And it's my right.
And it's my right. So we're telling him that this is the place the man cut. And then his own younger brother got it. Is that automatically? Do you understand that?
Yes.
But he has been the president of our Omawa Youth Association.
Not Ikwereo. And
he's Ikwere, but not from the same local government.
Not even from Omawa, but Omawa Youth Association. He has been the president. He's been the president of the Omawa Student Union. As I talk with you, he is the SA to Charles Wobodo. And they didn't nominate him from another place. He's nominated from the village. Right? So I said this. We all need to balance it. We have not questioned those things.
Yes.
All of us who are, plus what we are doing here, we need to begin to question certain things. Why are you not contesting for this? Why are you not going for this? You see that in River State, everybody, in Nigeria, people naturally go back to their home. Obi was an entrepreneur, a banker, per accident, in Lagos, headquartered in Lagos. When it was time to run for governor, they brought him back to Anambra. Obi was more popular in Lagos. No wonder he won in Lagos. More popular in Lagos than here.
And probably could have won in Lagos.
Probably could have won in Lagos and could have been president from Lagos. Because even the people who contested in Lagos are not from Lagos. But he has this thing. He came back home, a place where he didn't know where to go. Get what I'm saying?
So it's about the mentality.
It's about the mentality. All of us must say, we want to contest, we want to do this and begin to change it. Because you see, laws will be lying down there. It is you that says, a request for this.
It's human beings that will activate
those laws.
And make sure
until you question certain things. Don't forget. Now, this is a very good example. Don't forget that there was a lady who acted as CJ of River State who was not from River State. There was also a lady who became permanent secretary under Amechi. That permanent secretary came up to Wiki. When he came to Wiki, people said, down. Wiki is Sikwele. Amechi was acting like Ikwele. Remove him. Wiki said, I don't understand. Why didn't we remove her when she was growing from childhood? You know, in that ministry, she became. It is for her to become. There is nothing we can do about it because she is. Right? That's because she had dared. But you will see the likes of her fathers, the kind of, certain persons, wouldn't allow their daughter to work in civil services because he or she already believes
there's a limit they can't get.
That's a limit they can't get. But you have not tried it. We have a way of always limiting ourselves and saying, this kind of, it's like, you wake up in the morning and then somebody says, I want to run an election. All the elections that I've run in this world discourage me, including the church. The church is the worst that discourages you. They will call me and say, these people, they are devilish. You don't do this one. You don't do the other one. If you go and contest, can you shoot gun? And if you go and I ask them, do you respect Wike? He says yes. Have you ever seen Wike fight?
Okay.
I don't understand. It's still the same. I will do it. I will deal with you. Yes, tell him I will deal with you. What's that? Wike was contesting an election in 2000. For those I paraded, that's why when I see people shout on air, do about it, I look at them and say, please, guys, somebody wrote something in a piece. I replied him and told him, I said, all that you are writing is theory because I know you. In reality, you are not. Wike was contesting the election with 11 other candidates in PDP. Out of the 11 candidates, 6 of them were classmates and classmates to Goodluck Jonathan. So they have more access to Jonathan than Wike. Out of them, one of them was an SA to Jonathan. Wike came during the screening and said, hey, come on, get out. You're not PDP, you're not PDP. Do you know anybody here? What? A candidate is telling you that they cried and came and started addressing press and went to Abuja to report. And then he won election. You don't understand. He didn't slap them. He didn't do anything. You will tell him, no, you are not. So it's a mentality thing. It's a mentality,
right? See, Lorenzo, there is something, we are changing the narratives. So I thank you very much, and I believe that the world will praise you for this presentation. We are changing something. We are giving a different orientation from the orientation we got from our fathers. Something happened. My son started primary school in this place, though born in FCT, in Amak, but started primary school here, secondary school here, university here. When it was time for him to contest for the president, the faculty presidency, he came back home and asked me, Daddy, should I contest? I said, I've told you never to be afraid of venture. He said, but they said that non-indigenous. I said, don't get away with that. Okay, where are you from? He mentioned where I came from. I said, who and who do you know in that place?
Not one. Don't have a friend.
I asked him, where is this community? Where is this? He was looking at me. I said, my friend, but if I ask you where is Emo now, you quickly run. If you where is this community? I said, you are here. Go and contest. So unfortunately, he came. His university, River State University, attended. So they are what's it called? What do they call this?
Student Union Government, SUG.
Not SUG. The lecturers in charge of students and all that.
School advisors.
So he was called when he was purchasing the form that he shouldn't come in. They had 2 Ogoni contesting, and one River Rhine. So he met them 4. So they discouraged him, especially the Ogoniman, who is their HOD. And he came home and told me, I said, who do you listen to? Is it your father or your lecturer? Your lecturer is meant to teach you book, academics. I am meant to teach you life. So go and buy the form. He bought the form and returned it. I said, fine, fill it and forward it. Then begin your campaign. He started campaign, and the people were, in fact, he was overwhelmed by the other people. And when he came home, I said, do you know about the father of the other person? He said, no. The daughter of the other person said, I said, are they politicians? I said, who is your father? Your father is a priest, a politician, an entrepreneur, an industrialist. Your father. And you are coming to tell me that they overwhelmed. I said, guy, ask me, what shall I do? That's all. So that night, after the other children had gone to bed, and he came about and we started talking about it. I told him what to do. It is politics is simple. Get the right people. And he did. Now, he had more students to himself than the other. The other people were using lecturers and all that. So on the day of the election,
the lecturers won't vote.
Lecturers won't vote now, but he had the people.
Yes.
On the day of election, when the other guy was disqualified along the line, the River Rhine, it was now between him and 2 Ogonis.
Yes.
And the more of the lecturers are Ogonis. So he saw that they were for their brother, but the students were for him. So they now went and hired mercenaries. He would call me, and I would tell, I was doing a program. It was school then, so I leaves home. I was in my room in that place, giving him directives on what to do. And finally, when the election was done, it was in a hall, and they were counting. Already, he was hitting 160-something when his closest runner-up was getting 30-something. So there was uproar. So these people now were trying to do everything to, if it is
Scatter
to use
the whole election.
But his men, which I told him, plant your men in so as to get their information. He won. To cut the story short, I'm not here to maybe entertain the people about what happened, but he won that election, and his tenure was the best. That after his tenure, when he graduated from the school, he was still standing as the president of his faculty from home until after about 7 months or 7 to 8 months before a new ELECO was formed, and they had the elections and the new person emerged. So when he told me that he was going to hand over and all that and do orientation, I said, guy, when did you leave school that you are? He said, I have been standing as this. I said, because the lecturers have seen what you can do. The school authority have seen your capacity. So I said, guy, from this point, having done well in school politics, don't look away from politics.
So let me come in there. Let me just say something here. Now, I just want to ask, I just want us to interrogate that process. First, I'm a Rivers person, and I know that the ROSU, like every other state university, has more of the Rivers indigene than any other indigenism.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that correct?
Sure.
Meaning that the majority of the people who voted for him
were Rivers people. Sure.
Do you understand that?
Sure.
Now, that's where I want us to come back to that.
They did not look at the indigenship in this instance.
In essence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was, look at where he would have stopped. He would have stopped at the point he wanted to withdraw because he's not an indigene.
Yeah.
He called himself. Nobody called him.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Every other person saw him as a student.
And that was student affairs.
That was a student affairs. It's only him that said, I'm not an indigene. Get what I'm saying? So most times, we have not even questioned the process. We have not even questioned.
We've not even tried.
We have not even tried it. We had failed on our own. You know, an elephant as big as an elephant can put down the whole of this studio. You know, just one elephant can pull up the whole. But when it's growing up, as a baby elephant, what is it called? As baby elephant, okay. Let me use that word. As a baby elephant, if you tie it to this place, this chair, if it moves one and it can't move because it's a baby elephant, move twice, 3 times, 4 times,
you just remember
never move out of that place. Even if it's as big, as gigantic as this studio, Why? Because he would always remember, because it's an animal with the highest memory.
Yeah.
He would always remember that each time I moved there, something drew me back, so he won't move again.
So that thing will say, drag me if I want to move now.
He will remember that thing. So you are really funked. You haven't done anything. That's why some of us, you see, when I'm talking, if you don't, when I'm talking, I talk without fear. Because the question I ask is, I'm talking about my own brother, uncle, elder brother, and leader, which is Yeso Wike. Yeso Wike will say, I will do this. Have you seen Yeso Wike fight before? No. And I can tell you that most of these people have more money than Wike, but he has more audacity.
That's it, audacity.
Right. All right,
That's
very
it.
well, moving forward. Factional National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Abdul Rahman Mohammed, has declared that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has consistently stood by the party. He made the assertion during a factional PDP Board of Trustee meeting held in Abuja. Mohammed praised Wike for his unwavering support and commended Board of Trustee members for backing the National Caretaker Committee under his leadership. He described their commitment as vital to stabilizing the party amid internal challenges. He said the festive break was over and urged party leaders to refocus on the mandate, stressing that the time had come for decisive action to reposition the PDP and put it back on the right track. Nze, your take on this?
Abdurrahman, the last time we checked, was suspended by what we may consider illegal.
Expelled or suspended?
Expelled, rather.
All right.
With a certificate of expulsion.
Is that expulsion still valid, considering?
No. I was coming to say by illegal National Working Committee.
All right, go ahead.
So the Turaki faction led the PDP, National Working Committee of PDP, now had suspended Abdurrahman, Wike, Samuel Anyanwu, and the rest of them. And now that the law did not recognize Turaki,
yes.
now Anyanwu, Abdurrahman, and the rest of them have ganged up themselves to say they are now the authentic PDP. So it's a confusion. It's a confusion. Now, but if I may leave his status and look at his statement, what we want to say, as far as it is coming from the faction of Abdurrahman-led National Working Committee, Wike is the best man. And apart from them, Wike has been the brain behind the sustenance of PDP over the years, especially when those who stood for PDP left. Wike was still standing, and he held that political party. I salute him for that. But along the line, when he couldn't find solace in that political party, after the 2022 National Convention that produced Atiku, and he tried to also see if he can find his foot in the place by seeking for the removal of Ayu, and it didn't work. He came for VP slot, it didn't work. He had to look for somewhere to perch. See, when you see me stand against Nyesom Wike, I am standing against him based on some certain points. But when it comes to the person of Nyesom Wike, he is my kind. I like him.
I'm confused in there.
Yes, hear me. That is, you have to be confused, because dealing with is oftentimes will shock you. Because if you hold me without holding me strongly, you'll be asking yourself what happened. Because look at, I'm just telling you what that man did. He held this political party, sponsored this political party, sustained this political party. To me, it is a credit should be given to him. But along the line, when he lost it by the betrayal of his friend, Aminu Tamboa, he couldn't clinch the ticket of 2023 presidential election. And he now started fighting for the removal of Ayu from national chairmanship, which you know that the reason why Ayu emerged was because he removed Sonny Secondaries, who would have blocked his chances of contesting as the PDP national chairman. So now he started fighting that, and Atiku said no. Being the head, the leader of PDP as at then, now he couldn't succeed on that.
Sorry, you said Atiku was the leader of the PDP?
Because he was the presidential flag bearer. So as the presidential flag bearer, he was the highest office holder, apart from the national chairman. So now, you see, when that didn't work well, Wike discovered that his political career was actually crumbling. And he had to join the APC. On agreeing with the APC, he helped them to win election. That's why you saw that in Rivers State, APC won only the presidential seat. Remember, that very day, the National Assembly election was also held. And the Bola Tinubu won in Rivers State. PDP candidates, the 3 senators, and all the House of Reps members, all, apart from one, which came from Labour Party. That's Mezurike. So the rest of them won under PDP, and one will be asking, who educated the rural women on how to vote for Tinubu in APC? You begin to go down to where PDP is to vote for the Senator Baron Piggy, vote for the House of Reps member under PDP. You discover that what happened was actually a proper political arithmetic, which was carried out by this same man because he needed that federal protection. So he fought for it. He defeated me. Yes, I acknowledge that. Yeah, he defeated me in the state. Not because we didn't do our work. We did our work, but the other one he did prevailed, and that we left it at that. We are not coming to discuss that matter. So you see that despite the fact that he was still remaining in PDP, he gave APC block vote. Now that at the end of the day, APC needed to go for second tunnel, and if he leave PDP to still hold sway, definitely PDP will be the political party that will give APC a strong push coming 2027. So there is need for PDP to be weakened. So I don't want to accuse anybody for weakening PDP, but I know that despite all the crises, Wike had been in romance with Abdurrahman. He had been in romance with Samuel Anyanwu. He has been, so if Abdurrahman today is eulogizing him, he's not wrong.
Right?
Yeah, it's not a surprise.
Cheesy, your take on this?
You know, there is this slogan in Nigeria. When a Nigerian man wants to insult, he says with all due respect. Then he insults. That's what I.
You want? Okay.
Yes, I know such things. But let me tell you what Wike had done. Wike had fought on the place of the law. Now, for instance, he said he had heard well. When did Atiku left the PDP, went to ACN, came back, went to another party, came back, like that, isn't it? They were the ones who made PDP lose in 2015, right? And Wike heard it as governor. Because if they were there, Wike wouldn't have done that. Wike would have allowed it. Heard it as governor until 2019 when Atiku came and ran. After Atiku ran to 2019, he flew back to Dubai and waited till 2020 to come and collect the ticket. Now, when you collected the ticket, what was everything for? If you had collected the ticket, in the PDP's own constitution, the chairman is not supposed to come from the same place with the presidential candidate. That's what Wike was saying. Bring the chairmanship of the place to the south, so that there will be, because what that means is you have the president here, you have the vice president, you have the senior president from the north, then you have the chairman from the south. Bring it. If you are not bringing it to the south, whether the vice presidency he has a right, they don't contest the office of the vice president. It's not contested. It is nominated to be seen as elected after election, isn't it? So it is an exclusive reserve of the Atiku to do that. But the party, which is the national chairman of the party, you must. So it was even apolitical on the part of Atiku. I didn't think he used his experience he brought the experience to play. It was not political. For you to know that ordinarily, when who was King Gibe, when Tony Anene was the chairman of PDP, I mean SDP, as soon as Abiola emerged as candidate of the party, the national chairman went back to the north, strict. The same way with Obasanjo, here, it went to the north, naturally speaking. right? So if you know that you're going to hold it, you say, okay, why are you holding this? We're not having the party. We're not holding this thing. So which one is for us? So, okay, I'm going to deliver the party here, but I'm going to work for a certain thing. So he looked at in between Obi and Tinubu and found out who will make it, because you see, political judgment is important. It's not by rhetorics. It's not an online thing. It is what you know. You know, there are certain things. One day you asked me a question about ADC, and I said, I don't even know where ADC is. The only time I know about ADC is by this super. Because I'm from unit. I know unit. I know what is happening. It's not by we will win. You can sit down here and script a very fantastic film. That's what happened. So again, let me even quickly go back there before the time goes up. Look at, talk about factional. In fact, I even quarrel even the media houses calling the acting national chairman and factional chairman. Because
you mean Abdurrahman?
Abdurrahman, yes. Because the court has said he is now the acting chairman. So it is now the only PDP.
Was it a declarative judgment?
It was a declarative judgment. It was a declarative judgment. That convention is to its extent null and void. It didn't happen. And so because it didn't happen, the Abdurrahman this thing is not the authentic acting chairman.
The court said this specifically that the
Abdurrahman... A declarative, yes. Go back and read it. It's a declarative statement. So the talking now knows that these are the right people. So he's talking. That's why what he's talking about is reconciliation, moving around to see how they can move, look at all of these people and then come together.
Is this why Turaki said that they are appealing the judgment and that the court also granted the Abdurrahman faction prayers that they never requested
for the court? That's why I said it. Because of the declarative statement. And now let me tell you what happened. Yes, the court is not Father Christmas that can give you what you didn't pray for. But the court does not allow vacuum in organization. Do you understand that? The court does not allow vacuum in organization. The court cannot say the national, they say what you did was wrong, and then allow it that way. No. The court will say it happened in APC River State, then where the court ruled that somebody was not, and then gave it to a Magma, if you notice that, and said the Magma should act. What the court is saying, I give you 90 days to act and then hand over. Because somebody must be signing the document to the party, somebody must be in charge of the party. That's what Abdurrahman is. And what the court has said is Abdurrahman now said, this is the man who has helped us on Wiki. He's been in the party. Wiki is a member of the PDP, and he has said so. What he's doing in Rivers is what we call a rainbow coalition. Both the PDP and come together. Let us vote for this.
Deliver President Tinubu.
Let us deliver.
His interest is delivering
President Tinubu, because without Tinubu, who else will win now? Obi will not win because Obi will do 8 years, and the North will not accept that. Amechi will not win because he's going to do 8 years. Whether you like it, don't forget all of those agreements. Even Atiku will do 8 years. Nobody will accept that. The element is the other place. So it is assuming without considering. I know he's performing, but assuming that he's not performing, let us if he has failed now, let him repeat class. If he had failed the exam, let him repeat it now for another 4 years, and then we'll take him out. Then he goes to the North.
I would have loved to engage you on this particular statement.
We're going to come on that.
This last statement, I would have loved to engage you on it.
Yes.
If he has failed, let him repeat 8 years. But for
lack
of time, Chizzy, I would have loved to seriously engage you on this particular statement. Why someone who has everything, Nigerian president is literally the most powerful president in the world.
Okay.
He enjoys, I mean, this is a president who sent the military on a journey to go and rescue a neighboring country from military coup without regards to the National Assembly. In fact, met the National Assembly after the deed was done.
There was a consultation with the National Assembly.
Consultation, no consultation. There was...
The Assembly didn't sit.
The Assembly did not sit on that matter. The
Assembly... approval you approved.
The Assembly...
There's something called anticipatory approval.
The Assembly sat on that matter after. When it comes to serious issues that will put our lives in danger, you don't tell me there are certain approvals that should be done.
No, there's
something the National Assembly, they are representing us.
No, there's something called anticipatory approval.
What is anticipatory approval when it comes to delicate, sensitive matters.
Issues of national interest.
And now, at the end of the day, one of our flights was detained by, was it Burkina Faso?
That one is not. The flight. I doubt if the flight is.
And they said they had an emergency landing, and you know, a whole lot of questions, but I don't want to go there. But I'm making this statement because of, you know, Chizi's last statement. When if the president fails, he can repeat class.
At whose detriment?
At whose detriment?
He didn't fail.
No, we're not saying
but
he failed.
If you fail, like you said, if you fail a class, you repeat the class now.
If he didn't fail, let him bow.
Can we continue this conversation tomorrow? Because I really want to take up Chizi on this. I am not Chizi. I want to take you up on this very seriously and maybe drag you very well, really drag you very well on this particular statement. If I need to go and bring out a topic on Tinubu's election in 2027, I have to do that, so that you come and tell Nigerians again that if a president doesn't do well, he can repeat class.
It is me.
But let me tell you that the statement Chizi made could be referred to a statement in person. So you cannot build on it. I can build on it if I choose to. I am actually building on it. But it is left for him to put your head straight. You cannot put my head straight. You see, on this matter, in this statement of Chizi, if I wish I have time tomorrow. I wish I will be here tomorrow. Both of us will put our hands together and change the narrative from there. He's doing damage control because he did not wish Chizi happy birthday. So he's trying to save his head. No, I wish him happy birthday. When the camera goes off. No, I wish him happy birthday. By the time he checks his phone, he will discover that I have been there. I am in his WhatsApp. I am in his text messages and all that. And you know, I don't know. And the truth is that he didn't come out yesterday. He celebrated indoor. Otherwise, we would have been in the venue together. You know. I don't know that one.
Please convert all the messages to money.
Convert those messages.
You know it is doable. You know it's doable.
We trust you.
It's doable.
We trust you. Thank you very much, Nze, for coming. It's a pleasure. And thank you so much. It's also a pleasure as well. And thank you so much, viewers, for always staying connected to us. And this is where we wrap it up this episode of Open Conversation. Tomorrow promises to be even more interesting. Stay tuned and see you at the same time tomorrow. Bye for now.